The dawn of a new season. A calling to the world's elite bass anglers that the competition is about to begin. With dreams of fame and glory, they prepare to do battle, each hoping that he'll be the last competitor left on stage, trophy in hand. Can you feel it? It's in the air. Get ready for the Bassmaster Tournament Trail. The Bass Angler Sportsman Society presents the Bassmaster Tournament Trail.
Welcome to the beautiful Potomac, the river that carries you through our nation's capital on into the magnificent Chesapeake Bay. We're in Charles County, Maryland, along with the top B.A.S.S professionals as they get ready to kick off another season of fierce competition. Hello, everybody. I'm Jimmy Dykes, and welcome to the #1 stop along the Kmart Bassmaster Top 150 Tournament Trail. Alongside me this week, professional guide and B.A.S.S competitor Mark Goss. And Mark, this is where it all begins, the chase for Angler of the Year and qualifying for that Bassmasters Classic.
Yes, it's the first of 7. A good finish here gives a confidence to the angler going into the rest of the year.
You know, we got a new format this year along the tournament trail. It's going to result in a shootout on Saturday of the top 10 guys.
That's right, 150 anglers fight it out for 3 days, trying to make that top 10 on Friday. And only the top 10 go on to Saturday, where the winner, $100,000.
Speaking of winners, Kevin Van Dam won this event last year with over 50 pounds of fish. You got to like the angler's chances again out of Kalamazoo, Michigan.
Hey, Kevin's got to be the favorite. Wins last year, 96, he's 5th. But how about Denny Brauer, 5th and 4th the same year, is coming off a tremendous classic win. And how about last year's second place guy, Randy Blockett? It might be his year.
The Potomac, a tidal river, has an abundant food supply with grass beds, rock piles, and other cover. The fishing is usually outstanding. Day 1 of competition got off to a beautiful start, even under the potential threat of Hurricane Bonnie. Gainesville's Bernie Schultz jumped off to a fast start, fishing a grass bed he found the fish tight-lipped, but hitting a white spinnerbait or a follow-up cast with a white floating worm.
Texan Tommy Martin located an area during practice that was holding some good quality largemouth.
As expected, defending champion Kevin Van Dam unleashed his machine gun style of fishing and boated a limit. But 12 pounds, 12 ounces left him tied for 19th place and facing an uphill struggle. So after day 1, Bernie Schultz sat on top of the pack, followed by Tommy Martin and Jay Elias. Day 2 found the 1982 Bassmasters Classic champion Paul Elias on fish and employing a unique style to draw them to his jig.
Here, little fishy.
Bernie Schultz maintained his focus and boated another solid limit.
The standings through day 2 show Paul Elias on top, followed by Bernie Schultz, and in third, Virginia's Rick Morris.
Day 3 and Indiana's Ken Mcintosh came out smoking. Ken boated a limit so fast he was back at the ramp by noon, calmly eating an early lunch.
But the 98 Classic champion, Denny Brauer, was working an isolated creek with cover that played to all his strengths: docks, wood, and pads.
Jay Ellis didn't get to grab an early lunch, but he did chow down on a solid limit for the 3rd day in a row.
And Bernie Schultz remained consistent, adding a kicker fish to an already big stringer of bass. So our field is set as the top 10 pros head into the final round of the Kmart, Maryland Top 150 tournament. At stake, a first-place prize worth $100,000. We'll get things underway right after this.
Hi, I'm Ken Mcintosh. I work on the B.A.S.S tournament trail, and you probably don't know me. That's why I carry this.
Ken Mcintosh is ready for payday on the Potomac. Welcome to the final day of the Kmart Bassmaster Top 150 tournament from Charles County, Maryland. I'm Jimmy Dykes, and our field is set. The top 10 anglers are ready to go at it. Ken Mcintosh sits in the pole position, but in hot pursuit is Denny Brauer, and Denny Brauer is on fire. Just 3 weeks ago, he won his first Classic, and he's stalking another title here today. It should be an outstanding finish. Only 5 pounds, 8 ounces separate 1st through 10th place. For more with our leader, let's go to Mark Goss.
Ken, a lot of guys be having nightmares with Denny Brauer less than 1.5 pounds behind. Can you do it?
Today, it's not really between me and Denny. It's just between me and the bass, and if they're there, we'll get them.
Well, we're set for the final shootout. Ken Mcintosh is on top, but Denny Brauer is breathing down his neck. The entire field's within striking distance.
Today's weather's going to be beautiful. Partly cloudy, but later on it's going to get real hot.
Well, here's our leader, Ken Mcintosh.
He broke off. That's a bad break. And that's not how you want to start the big money round. I hope that doesn't hurt him later on.
Well, that's Jay Ellis, and his confidence and ability to focus gets stronger every tournament, something he credits to a group called Focus.
My secret to success is, like I've already said, is my relationship with Jesus Christ, a relationship I've had for a long time. But it wasn't until about 1994 that I really turned my life, and what we're going to talk about right now is my career, over to him.
That focus group has really helped Jay and other competitors on the tour.
Jay's hooked a fish on a small crankbait.
Little runt.
Jimmy's going to need bigger fish than that to win this tournament.
Here's the master, Denny Brauer.
Denny's been working flipping tubes and jigs on a low tide and a spinnerbait during the high tide. You know, Denny's a master at developing and refining patterns, and once again, his pattern's paying off with quality fish, and it's the kind it takes to win a tournament like this.
Well, here's our leader, Ken Mcintosh. Oh, man, look at that.
Shoot.
Ken's trying to push his career to the next level.
He's in an area called Blue Plains. He's been working a split-shot rig. The bite's been subtle, but he's been catching fish. Today, the tide and the watercolor's changed. Looks like his luck has too.
And that's a bad position to be in when you're against this man. We'll be back with more from the Potomac right after this. Jimmy Dykes and Mark Goss welcoming you back to historic Charles County, Maryland. Ken Mcintosh appears to be in trouble as the conditions in his area have changed.
The difference in today's and the other days is the tide comes in just a little bit later every day. When I've gotten here before, the tide was pretty much right, and you could start catching them right away. As the tide comes up, the fish are going to start moving. Right now, it's just sitting dead still. Fish aren't moving around. As soon as they move around, they'll be swimming by my area, and I'll pick them off as they come through.
Well, Denny Brauer continues to work the small creek that has been so productive for him during this tournament.
This little old place I'm fishing, I didn't even know if I could get a limit the first day out of it. And in fact, I didn't. I only caught 4 out of it the first day and had to go scramble to get another fish. And yesterday they started to bite a little bit better in there, and today the tides were all screwed up. We had a flood tide, and I really wasn't doing very good, and I changed patterns, changed areas a little bit, and finally got something put together late in the day. And you just don't know what tomorrow will bring. I may not catch any where I'm at, or I may get another big bag. I think some big fish are left there.
Here's Denny Brauer. Boom, got it, there you go. He's flipping a chameleon craw Denny Brauer jig into the pads. It's amazing how this creek continues to produce fish and that Denny has the creek all to himself.
Hey, like we said, Jimmy, it's a small area, but it's got everything he needs. Docks, woods, pads, and he works every inch of that area.
Well, back to Ken Mcintosh, who at the moment has an empty live well.
Yeah, he's hurting.
Oh, there he is.
I can't believe how he sets that hook with 8-pound test line. You know, he's got to boat this fish to have any chance to win this tournament.
Yeah, I mean, you got to think that he's still thinking about that first missed fish of the morning.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
No, yeah, it's working on his mind. And you can see now he's going to be real careful and bring this fish in with that light line. And you're right, he's got to be thinking about breaking that first hook set off.
I'll take it.
I mean, here's an angler trying to win his first ever B.A.S.S. tournament.
Butterflies are in him like you won't believe.
Pressure time right now for Ken Mcintosh.
Yep. And you know, he's fishing right in downtown Washington, too.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. 3 bags full.
That jet could land on his boat and he wouldn't even know it's there.
Swim to your heart's content.
Okay, that 8-pound test line, I mean, it's so fragile. And yesterday when that water was real clear, it might have been necessary, but today, you know, I don't know. I just don't know if I could do that. But hey, he's the guy. He's the guy to fish on the line.
Well, this fish sure looks like it's rejuvenated his fighting spirit, trying to get that first national tournament title.
Let's see what it looks like. Oh, that's a good fish.
Attaboy, Ken.
That's the way it's going to do it.
Yeah, good one.
It's number 1.
Back over to Bernie Schultz, who was our day 1 leader. Bernie's currently in 4th place.
He's been fishing a spinnerbait and a white floating worm for 3 days, but he just switched to a swimming Emmy's crankbait. You know, he's worked this area all week and for a good reason. It's an upper tributary creek with a long high driller bed. And next to that grass is a flat that leads into deep water. And Jimmy, we know that's an ideal situation. It'll continue to supply solid fish. Now, the fish have been finicky, but by rotating his presentation, using a quiet approach, Bernie stayed among the leaders at the top of the pack and in contention to win this tournament.
Here's Davy Hite. Man, he sets that hook, makes you think you're on a firing range.
Hey, he hooked this on a blue-black bulldog jig, and he's not playing around. That's not 8-pound line there, I'll guarantee you. You know, he had a poor opening day with 10 pounds and 5 ounces, but he's fought his way back in contention. Ooh, that's the kind it takes.
Yeah, he trails our leader, Ken Mcintosh, by 3 pounds, 5 ounces. Back over to Bernie Schultz, who's trying to vault himself back into the lead from 4th place.
Hey, he's still throwing that swimming image, too. Oh, he just hooked a fish. Bernie's a great technician. Now, he's going to give us a lesson on how to land a crankbait fish. He's using a fiberglass rod that absorbs the surge of the fish, keeps him from pulling the hooks out. It also cushions that small crankbait line they use. He's a master at this. He'll wear that fish down, you watch. He'll wear it down.
Now, Bernie's one of those anglers that doesn't leave anything to chance. He sees raised his motor so he doesn't give that bass an opportunity to break off.
And he's free-spooled his reel. That keeps the fish from surging and breaking that short piece of line when it's most critical. There. You see how he clicks that reel closed, takes up a little slack? Immediately free-spools again. He's going to wear this thing way down.
Well, there goes the trolling motor, and this battle continues.
In this level of competition, every ounce is thousands of dollars.
Well, this fish has got to be ready to put up that white flag mark.
As long as he's been pulling on him, you know he is. Oh.
Yeah, there it is. Good one.
Now, Bernie's pattern has been a white 1/4 ounce Hildebrand spinnerbait worked over the grass bed. Follows it up with a white floating worm, and that's a deadly combination on these Potomac bass.
Well, there's the Pied Piper of bass, Paul Elias.
Jimmy, Paul's been in this area all week long. He's working hard with a jig and a crankbait. Yesterday, he only brought 4 fish to the scales. Oh, that's a good fish. That's going to help him out.
Well, meanwhile, our leader, Ken Mcintosh, has hooked into another fish. After a painfully slow start, he appears to have adjusted his pattern and starting to build some momentum.
You know, Ken has to baby this fish. He's still using that 7-foot medium-light St. Croix rod. He's loaded with 8-pound test line. Unbelievable. That's an outfit that's much more suited to the clear western lakes. I'll guarantee you, that rig will put your heart in high gear, especially during a tournament like this with $100,000 on the line.
Look at that mark. It's kind of hard to tell who's playing who here.
Now, that's known in the business as the David Fritz Shuffle.
Come on, baby, come on, baby. Don't you get away from me. Don't you get away from me.
Boy, that is pure drama.
He's babying that fish. You can hear the tension.
Get it in a boat, Kenny. Yeah, there you go. Got it.
That's what he needs.
We'll be back with more great stuff right after this.
The Bassmaster Tournament Trail will continue after this.
Welcome back to the grand finale of the Kmart Maryland Top 150 tournament. Our current leader is Mark Davis, who weighed in 5 fish for 13 pounds, 7 ounces. But we still have 6 competitors waiting to step up for their turn at the scales. Here's Bernie Schultz, hoping he can jump back into first place. Bernie needs 9 pounds, 15 ounces for the lead. It appeared he had a solid day on the water, so let's go up to tournament director Dewey Kendrick for the official weight.
Tom Rowland, weight. He takes over the lead, 11 pounds, 12 ounces.
Nice job, Bernie's back on top, but Jay Ellis is next. He'll need 11 pounds, 7 ounces to knock Bernie Schultz back into second place.
Jimmy, I don't think he's got it in that sack.
Well, let's get the weight.
Jay Ellis, he won this tournament a few years ago. He's not going to make it. Jay has 10 pounds, 1 ounce.
Now, that's not enough. 10 pounds, 1 ounce doesn't get Jay Ellis where he needs to be. And here comes our leader through 3 days, Ken Mcintosh. He'll need 9 pounds, 14 ounces to stay on top and have a shot at his first national victory.
Ooh, he's only got 4 bass, Jimmy. And that dead fish is going to cost him 4 ounces.
4 bass, we're going to weigh them real quick. Your weight is 11 pounds, 12 ounces, 11, 12.
And Ken Mcintosh has done it. He's overcome a tough day on the water and maintained control of first place. Davy Hite is next, and will need 14 pounds, 14 ounces to bump Ken Mcintosh.
Take over the lead. 14 pounds, 12 ounces.
Oh, just shy, but that weight's good enough to move Davy Hite to second place. Next up is Virginia's Rick Morris, who's a local favorite here on the Potomac. Rick needs almost 16 pounds, however, to overtake Ken Mcintosh for first.
14 pounds, 11 ounces.
Well, there's one competitor left to weigh in, and that's Denny Brauer, the hottest angler on the B.A.S.S. circuit today. Denny remained in his private cove all day long and caught fish. We'll see how much weight he brought back to Smallwood State Park.
Put him on the scales. 15 pounds, 8 ounces.
And Denny Brauer is the champion again. He follows up his 1998 Bassmasters Classic victory with a win at the Kmart, Maryland Top 150. Our final standings show Denny Brauer back in the win column, followed by the gallant efforts of Ken Mcintosh, and in third place, former Angler of the Year, Davy Hite.
Denny Brauer, hold up.
You have to wonder what's left for Denny Brauer to conquer. We'll be right back.
The Pros Pointer, brought to you by Wrangler Rugged Wear.
Folks, let me show you the 3 lures I used this week and how I used them on the different tidal waters in order to win the tournament. This particular bait, the Strike King Pro Model jig, I fished around wood and I fished into the pads when the tide was low. When the tide got high, I took the Strike King 3/8 ounce spinnerbait, chartreuse and white, with a little Indiana thumper blade and ran it over the tops of the lily pads. When that water flooded a foot above them, those fish move up on top, got some great strikes with it. When the bite got real tough, use this Strike King flipping tube we just came out with the mega bite hook, just a regular slip sinker, and rigged it Texas style, and flipped it just like I would my jig, around some of the boat docks, around some of the laying down trees, and really got some nice fish on that. That's just how I rigged it, with that hook's right there. Boy, you're gonna nail them every time with that hook. And that was the key to the success.
Payday on the Potomac results with Denny Brauer cashing the largest check, and with the win leaves no doubt he's the #1 bass angler in the entire world right now. Let's check in with Mark Goss with the winner.
Denny, another tremendous win and a $100,000 first prize. Tell us about it.
It's just one of them unreal weeks again. I don't know. You know, you hear about people getting in a zone in athletics and, you know, McGuire hitting them home runs and that. I feel like I'm hitting home runs right now. Everything I do, everything I swing at's right. And, gosh, the fish have been cooperating. I haven't been losing many fish, and it's just been an awesome streak. And this is unbelievable to win this tournament.
Congratulations to Denny Brauer on winning the Kmart Bassmaster Maryland Top 150 tournament. For Mark Goss, I'm Jimmy Dykes. So long from the Potomac. B.A.S.S. presents The Road to the Classic. The race to New Orleans is on, and Jay Ellis leads the Kmart Top 150. While perennial favorites Larry Nixon, Kevin Van Dam, and Davy Hite are focused on a return trip to the World Championship. Defending champion Denny Brauer sits in a 3-way tie for 16th. And Louisiana native Sam Sweat would love to fish the Classic in his home state. In the Eastern Division, Dustin Wilkes holds a 4-point lead over George Cochran. In the Central Division, Dan Moorhead leads after his victory on Lake of the Ozarks. And in the West, California's Aaron Martin sits atop the pack with 585 points. You can follow the road to the Classic. Just log on to www.bassmaster.com. We'll see you in New Orleans.
The Bassmaster Tournament Trail has been brought to you by the Bass Anglers Sportsman Society, Ranger Boats, Wrangler Rugged Wear, Quantum, Chevy Trucks, Motor Guide, Mercury Outboards,
Bass Pro Shops, Berkeley, Jersey's Activewear, Pennzoil, and by Raytheon.
TNN, America's Country Home, is a service of CBS Cable.